What's up guys, it's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm back at it again bringing you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. This time, I will be bringing back the old school 40 facts on the vehicles of 40k. This time, we are going with the vehicles of the Necrons. So let's dive into their ancient lore. Let's begin with the Nightshroud. The Nightshroud is a bomber aircraft, larger than the more numerous Night Scythe and Doom Scythe that accompany it into battle, and its origins date back millions of years ago to the War in Heaven. Nightshroud's primary armament is the Death Sphere, a relic containment vessel imprisoning a fragment of antimatter. The warhead is kept phased out of the material universe until the Death Sphere detonates, unleashing an energy blast that annihilates all that it touches. The Night Scythe. The Night Scythe is a variant of the Doom Scythe fighter, and it favors troop transport capacity over heavy weaponry. Now, despite the emphasis on transport, they are armed with twin-linked Tesla disruptors, and are still formidable craft in their own right when compared to the attack craft of other lesser races. The favored tool of any Necron invasion, they are used as the first wave of a Necron attack, and their transport troops into the battle with a captive wormhole linked to a distant tomb world built into its hull. They are also used as scout ships and are capable of interplanetary travel as well. The Doom Scythe is the supersonic fighter used by the Necrons. Unlike most of the forces employed by the Necrons, Doom Scythes can function in a highly independent manner, and that is because they contain an advanced android brain as a pilot, which is capable of simulating billions of possible strategies in the span of a few nanoseconds, making them formidable dogfighters indeed. Their weaponry is that of the twin Tesla disruptors and the devastating Death Ray. Now let's move on to the almighty Tesseract Vault. The Tesseract Vault is the largest Necron war engine to date. It is one of the ultimate weapons of destruction in the Necron's arsenal, and at its center is a captured Transcended Catan shard. Such is the power of the Catan trapped within the living metal walls of the Tesseract Vault that they are constantly being destroyed. It is only through the continuous effort of the Vault's canoptic leeches that the walls are kept in place, while the canoptic sentinel at its center controls the Catan by enclosing it in a force shield generated by its tentacles, and therefore draws from the star god's own energy. The power of an activated Tesseract Vault is such that it can age foes to dust, set acres ablaze, or trigger earthquakes. In times of desperation, Necrons will sometimes free the Catan from its prison, allowing it to rampage through the battlefield. However, in this state, it is as dangerous to the Necrons as it is to their enemies. The Necron Obelisk are enormous Necron war engines specializing in defense of the air. They are able to remain dormant beneath tomb worlds for millions of years, but when they are awoken, they rise from the earth and they level out far above the surface, blasting enemy aircraft out of the sky with its Tesla spheres. The living metal walls of the obelisk are often lined with canoptic leeches, allowing it to self-repair while still fighting back. The Tesseract Ark is a Necron war machine, one of their most powerful Necron engines encountered in the 41st millennium. It is a highly sophisticated design produced only by skilled cryptex. It is built around a contained singularity torn from the heart of a dying star, and in battle it siphons energy from this source to unleash a devastating array of firepower from its projector array. The Ark itself is surrounded by gravitational distortion fields, which is both its method of movement as well as a great defense mechanism. And now onto one of my own personal favorites, the Triarch Stalker. Now these stalkers are enormous mechanical spiders utilized by the Necrons. They are controlled by a high-ranking Triarch Praetorian and come equipped with quantum shielding. They are armed with slicing limbs and devastating weaponry. Triarch Stalkers are extremely maneuverable and quick for vehicles of their size, capable of covering all kinds of terrain. They are most commonly employed as dedicated tank hunter vehicles, outflanking enemy vehicles, then opening fire from the rear with their devastating heat rays. The Necron Annihilation Barge are light anti-gravity skimmers primarily used as anti-infantry vehicles. They are armed with twin-linked Tesla Destructors, which are enormous energy cannons that fire devastating arcs of lightning. The Tesla Disruptor is primarily an anti-personnel weapon, though it is still effective against all but the heaviest of armored vehicles. The Annihilation Barge is similar in design to the Catacomb Command Barge, but forgoes carrying capacity in favor for heavy firepower. And that brings us onto the Catacomb Command Barge, which is an anti-gravity skimmer used by Necron Lords and Overlords as personal transports. They are similar to the Annihilation Barge, but they favor capacity over firepower, but they do come armed with Tesla cannons. While embarked upon a command barge, an Overlord is able to oversee the battle, ensuring that his troops are engaged with the appropriate targets and that everything is according to plan. The command barge is also a combat vehicle if the Overlord so wishes. He can also fly it into battle, where a Necron Lord can then launch daring attacks on unsuspecting enemy units from within his war scythe's reach. The Doomsday Ark is a gravity tank used for heavy assaults. They are similar in appearance to the Ghost Ark transport, but it sacrifices troop carrying capacity in favor for a single devastating Doomsday cannon. It is not a tank in the conventional sense, but rather it is essentially a self-prepared Doomsday cannon, making the weapon of the Imperium seem primitive. Even if fired at low power, the Doomsday cannon is a ferociously destructive weapon, and at full power, it eclipses conventional plasma weapons in power many times over, and only a Titan could hope to withstand its devastating effects. Ghost Arks are similar to the Doomsday Ark, although they sacrifice heavy firepower in favor for the ability to carry up to 10 Necron infantry, although it is armed with 2 Gauss Flare arrays. They are anti-gravity vehicles that serve in battle. They no longer carry the unwilling, living Necron tier in their great cities, but they do redeem the fallen Necrons in war. The remains of Necron warriors too damaged to reanimate themselves are collected by Ghost Arks, whereupon they are attended to by swarms of Reconstructor Scarabs. The Necron warriors are either repaired, or if damaged too far, they are broken down into raw, reusable energy. Resurrected Necron warriors are either held in stasis to be brought back to the Tomb World, or are redeployed onto the battlefield to wage war once again. And finally we come across the ever-fearsome Necron Monolith. Each monolith is equipped with 4 Gauss Flux arc projectors, which allow it to damage every nearby unit with arcs of sickly green lightning. In addition to these arcs, the monolith has not redeployed its portal. It can discharge the matrix energy in the form of a particle whip. A monolith's Eternity Gate is a dimensional corridor between the battlefield and a tomb world, allowing legions of Necron warriors to cross vast distances and enter the battlefield with a single step. These monumental vehicles are constructed from the same living metal as all other Necron vehicles. It fulfills the roles of transport craft, armored destroyer, and Necron power icon by sowing terror and destruction as it ponderously moves across the battlefield. The large crystal at its center pulses with a sickly green light when it uses its power matrix to activate either its primary weapon system, the particle whip, or the dark portal in its frontal section to transport other Necron units. Necron monoliths are heavily armored, and thanks to its outer layer of living metal, are capable of self-repairing almost any damage sustained on the battlefield. The only true way to halt the advance of a monolith is to make a sustained volley of heavy firepower to create a breach in its armored shell, exposing it, its vital systems and crew, for a final devastating blow. And that's all the vehicles we have for the almighty ancient Necrons. Let me know what you thought about this living metal vehicles in the comments down below. I for one think these guys are very overpowered. In our play group we do have a Necron player and he always kicks our butt. But we'll see about that in the next game. So what do you guys want to hear from next? Is it the vehicles of the Eldar, or perhaps something else? Now we do have the vehicles done on the Tau, so if you guys do want to watch that, I'll leave the link at the end of the video so you guys can click on it. Or if not, that's okay. We put out videos each and every day, 2 videos actually each and every day, so you got a lot to choose from. And that's all I've got for you guys today. And as always guys, I'm the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I am signing out.